Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to A Slice of Gaming. This is a weekly video game news show on this channel hosted by me, Richard. So, welcome to the first inaugural episode of the week of March 9th, 2020 through March 13th, 2020. I'm going to be covering the biggest stories of the week and the stories that interest me the most personally, since this is really just for fun. Not a lot going on this week. Not a ton of news, but there are two massive news stories this week that we need to cover. I'm going to start with my personal favorite because it also was pretty much one of the first things to happen this week, and that is the announcement and release of Warzone, the Battle Royale mode for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So Warzone, or a Battle Royale mode for Modern Warfare, has pretty much been in the conversation since the game launched. Honestly, even before the game launched, after Blackout, the success of Blackout on Black Ops 4, people were wondering if Battle Royale was in store for the next Call of Duty. It came out with no Battle Royale, but to a lot of critical and fan positive reception, some mixed feelings too out there, but the game has done really well. It has a strong player base, it's sold well, etc., etc. I really personally love it. It's one of my favorite Call of Duties of this gen, and this mode reinforces that for me. I'll get into that in a minute. So, for weeks now, we've been getting rumors, we've been getting leaks. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we got a leak of the map for the first time on Reddit. So when the Season 2 started for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, there was, in the opening cinematic, a tease of characters dropping out of a plane onto a large map. Very much made it seem like Battle Royale. Also, at the start of the season, a new section of the main menu of the game. You have campaign, multiplayer, co-op, and a new section in the middle was put in there, was just called Classified, assuming that it probably would be that Battle Royale mode they kind of hinted at in the trailer. And then on Monday, a countdown timer went up on that little section of the menu, saying 24 hours. And it was counting down live in game. That same day, I don't know if this was planned, but I think they were probably trying to get ahead of leaks a little bit maybe, and they just, with the countdown timer, announced the new mode. So they announced Call of Duty Warzone would be coming. It would be coming with two modes: a Battle Royale mode, traditional Battle Royale, and Plunder, which is like its own game mode. Very much influenced by other game modes I've seen in other Battle Royale games, but we'll get to that. Big points of Warzone, though. 1. Free to play for everyone. Does not require Modern Warfare to be played. You can download it separately and play it yourself. Completely free to play. Microtransactions only come in the form of cosmetics, much like Apex Legends, Fortnite, etc. in the Battle Royale space. And just like the original Modern Warfare game, it is completely cross-play with PC, PS4, Xbox One. Very good stuff. Another big point is cross-progression. So, the weapons you use in the Warzone modes, it's much like how using a weapon in campaign, co-op, or multiplayer levels it up everywhere. I don't know if campaign does, but definitely co-op and multiplayer. Levels up your character and your weapons everywhere. The Warzone does the same thing. Anything you unlock, level up in Warzone. If you downloaded Warzone for free, played a bunch of it, leveled up a bunch of weapons and your character and stuff like that, and then bought Modern Warfare, all those unlocks should be available to you in the other modes that you get for buying the game, which is also really nice, right? Nice perk of it. So onto the mode itself. I've been playing it quite a bit since it came out on Tuesday. So this was announced on Monday, released Tuesday afternoon for most people. Released earlier for people who already owned Modern Warfare. So, how is Warzone though? What is it like? Is it good? Does it really matter? Because you can just download it for free and find out for yourself. I'm gonna talk about it anyways because I'm a big fan. I've been playing it since Tuesday. I play a few hours a day usually. Tuesday I played it quite a bit. Got my first dub yesterday. Very hard to get dubs in the game. It's a very long I've only played Battle Royale. I haven't played Plunder. It's a very long mode, very, very fun, but very team-based too. It's much more tactical than some other Battle Royales. Maybe not as tactical as, say, a PUBG, but much more tactical than, say, Apex or Fortnite. And definitely I feel like more tactical than Blackout was, because the map's a lot bigger, the environments are a lot bigger, they're more elaborate and detailed, and there's a lot more equipment and whatnot that you can do. But first off, it has the classic Call of Duty gameplay that I personally really love, probably some of the best shooting gunplay in the business, honestly. So it's got all that. It's got the great engine, the beautiful graphics, the amazing attention to detail in the animations and the weapons that you come to know from the regular Modern Warfare game. By the way, I'm not a COD partner, hashtag COD partner, I hashtag wish I was, but I actually just really love the game personally. So you have this large map, it's forced teams of 3, so you can do like in Fortnite where you can turn off fill and drop in solo, but you still will be playing against other teams of 3, which makes it very difficult. Some people can definitely do it. I've seen people do it, but I don't do that because it's kind of annoying when you come across a team of 3. You have to take it down by yourself. It's a lot easier if you have people to play with. It's also a lot easier if you have actual friends to play with that you can communicate with. I find them to be very hard to play with randos, much harder than say like an Apex of some sort, because it is very tactical. You very much have to stick together. You have to, I mean, all battle royales are like this. You have to be aware of your surroundings and whatnot, and you have to communicate. But I feel like in this one you have to do that a lot more, because I get so many randos that we all just, I try to say let's all drop here, and then they don't have mics or anything, and they just all drop in their own locations, or we'll be together for a little bit, and then one will just run off in one direction, the other one will run off in the opposite direction, and then one of them gets killed, and now we're down a leg of the team, or one of them rushes into a bad situation, puts the whole team in a bad spot. Happens so much in this mode with randos, because randos fucking suck at this game. Let me tell you, there's some really good players out there actually. The guy I played with I got a dub with, the rando. The 2 randos honestly I played with, we all did really well. He got 5 kills. One of them got 5 kills, I got 4, the other guy got 4. And we played really well, but one of the guys who played us was exceptional at the game, I feel like. But it's hard. I feel like it's one of those modes you really want to play with friends. You want to communicate. When entering a town with buildings, it's very easy to just walk into a room and you think it's empty because it looks empty, it's quiet, you don't hear anything, and you walk in and there was a person laying down under the staircase who just lasers you, and before you have time to react, because you didn't see him there because he was hiding in the shadows, you're down. He wipes you before your teammate gets to you because he wasn't with you, because you weren't able to call him out because you didn't see him. And then, so it's very much the type of thing where you want to go into buildings. You want to pre-aim when you go into buildings around corners, even if everything seems quiet. You want to say room cleared. You want to call out room cleared, building cleared, so on and so forth. A lot of communication, because it's very environmental, this battle royale. You very much want to use the environment to your advantage, because there's a lot of verticality, there's a lot of buildings, a lot of structures, a lot of open space. But it also makes it so much fun when you're playing with people and you just have good communication and you get that dub. And good gun skills are important too. They've added a few big tweaks to Battle Royale that I think work really well. For starters, everybody drops in with a pistol, the same pistol. In my opinion, that's really awesome. I don't think it's not something I ever thought completely necessary, but now that I have it, I kind of almost wish every Battle Royale had that. I mean, I doubt I'll play Fortnite Apex and be that upset that I don't have it. But I think it's just really great because there's so many times where you drop in and there's a ton of people around. And if you're not the first to get the gun, or you just, something fucks up, the fact that you can still kind of defend yourself and have a chance is nice, even though you'll be at a disadvantage. As someone who maybe picks up a gray AR, you'll still have some sort of chance. You're not completely helpless. You don't feel like you just got completely cheated because you were a half a second behind and missed the gun, and now you're getting lasered and you have no way to defend yourself, kind of thing. I mean, you'll still get crushed if you have a pistol against a gray AR, but you have a chance. And the fact that everybody drops it keeps it fair. I just think it's a good thing to have, is that starting pistol for everybody. Other things, they have kill streaks and equipment that you can pick up in the game from loot boxes, or you can buy them at these purchase stations that you can also use to revive teammates and stuff. So cash is a big part of this battle royale. So you'll get cash from crates. You'll get cash from on the floor. It's on floor loot too. You can get cash from killing enemies that have cash. You pick up their cash, There's also a system called contracts now. So you can find contracts on the map, pick them up, and they'll be like, find this player in the map, and it'll show you where the player is on your map. Go hunt them down and kill them, and you'll get money for that. Or it'll be like, go loot these 3 chests, and they'll show you where each chest is on the map, and you go loot the 3 chests, and you get some money. Or another one, probably one of the best ones, is go to this intel location, secure the location, so you have to sit on the spot, usually in an open area, or at-risk area, and sit on that spot for a certain amount of time. And when you're done, I believe you get some cash from it, but you also get to, much like Pathfinder and Apex Legends, you get to see the whole circle, or the next circle, I mean. So that's pretty useful, really cool. You can get money that way. So you can buy kill streaks, you can buy UAVs, airstrikes. You can buy armor packs because there's armor in the game. You can buy munitions boxes for ammo. And again, you can buy your teammates back in if they get killed. So that's a cool thing. It's one of those things where it's nice because you could win the game easily just by looting chests, killing people, taking the loot that you find in the game. No kill streaks, no purchasing kill streaks or armor or anything. You could win the game that way, honestly, in like a traditional battle royale sense. It's not like impossible to do that. But if you want to take a risk to get a reward that might give you an edge, that's an option while you're playing the game, which I think is pretty cool. But again, it's not something like not doing it doesn't mean you can't win the game. You still very much can win the game if you just are a skilled player. And so it's just an added layer to the experience if you want to do more in the game, which is, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty fun to do. Bringing back players, this is probably one of the coolest thing in the game. So if you get killed in the game, like you get knocked down and then finished, you go through this cutscene where you get dragged as a prisoner of war into this prison called the Gulag, and you spawn in the Gulag live while your other friends are playing the match with a bunch of other people who died in the game, and you're in this prison area where you get to do like a gladiator style 1v1 gunfight against another player who died, and whoever wins that gunfight match gets to go back in the game free of charge. It's a one-time use. You get to go back in free of charge, you drop in from the sky, you can land on your teammates. And it's really cool that it's just like in the middle of this match. And on top of that, so you get thrown in with these other people and you get to do a 1v1 gun match. But when you're not up, because you're in a queue, they can only do one match at a time, you're in the top section of the Gulag arena area, and you can watch live the 1v1 gun match of people fighting, and you can throw rocks at them and everything, and there's other players who are waiting with you throwing rocks and whatnot. So this is all going on while the other real matches happen at the same time, and if you win, you get to drop back in for free. If you die, you're dead, and the only way to be brought back is if your teammates have $4,500, they can go to a purchase station and buy you back in. And that, I'm pretty sure you can do an unlimited amount of times, much like a reboot van, as long as you have the cash. The Gulag's really cool. The fact that all that goes on can be going on behind the scenes while the actual match is happening too is really awesome. It's kind of surreal. But at least I thought so. I was like, mind blown when I first saw it. So those are some of this is a long conversation about the mode, but it is one of the main stories of the week, and I just want to talk about it because this show is a way for me to talk about video games, since I like to talk about video games, and I really want to talk about Warzone because I'm having a ton of fun with it. I think it's really great. Crossplay is awesome because I can play. My one friend has it on a PlayStation I want to play it with. My other friend has an Xbox I want to play it with. I have both, but I play Modern Warfare on PlayStation, so the fact that the three of us can play together, no questions, is pretty awesome. We're going to be doing that this weekend, hopefully, and they'll hopefully be having even more fun with it because I haven't actually played with friends yet. I think it's going to be a lot more fun once I can play with friends and communicate with them. So that's Call of Duty Warzone. Go online, give it a download if you're interested. It's on Xbox One, PS4, PC, obviously. It's free to play. If you're trapped inside because of this pandemic, then you can play Warzone. It's really fun. A couple of things going, little news stories to go along with that. So in the first 24 hours, Activision reports they got 6 million players on Warzone in the first 24 hours. Pretty impressive numbers. Let me check the stats. in comparison, Apex Legends, which a great game, took the world by storm, I think, or the gaming world by storm, in February of last year, 2019. Hit 2.5 million in its first 24 hours. Granted, a new IP, not like Call of Duty, so obviously it had like a little bit going against it in that sense. But it really did blow up. 2.5 in 24 hours is like a great amount of people for like a new IP that just didn't have any build-up hype. It just came out of nowhere kind of thing. But to put that into perspective, Warzone came out and in its first 24 hours did almost triple that. I mean, it did double and then a little bit more than double. Between doubled and tripled is what it did. So that's pretty impressive. Warzone is doing good, which is good. Glad it's doing well because it's really fun, and I hope they get to do more with that. And I didn't talk about the mode Plunder that much because I haven't played it. I'm not really interested in it. It's pretty much like, it's like the coin Royale or whatever it's called in Cash Royale or something in Fortnite, where it's not about who survives till the end. It's about collecting money, and whoever gets the most money wins. And you get money by doing everything, opening chests, killing players, etc. So that's pretty much the mode. Some people really like it, but I like the regular Battle Royales for now. Finishing this Call of Duty Warzone topic, just a quick reminder for my PlayStation fans out there, because I'm a big PlayStation guy. You can download the Call of Duty Warzone Combat Pack on the PlayStation Store right now. It's not really necessarily Warzone focused, but it's free to download if you're a PlayStation Plus member. It's kind of meant to go along with Warzone since that just came out too. It's just, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, it's free content. So you get a free skin for one of the operators, you get a watch for your character, you get some, I think like a weapon blueprint maybe, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get a weapon blueprint and a couple other things, like an icon, a banner, or something like that. So it's just some small stuff, nothing crazy. I don't think I even really am using any of the stuff I got in it, but it's free if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. I would go check it out. It's similar to what PlayStation Plus, it's a great thing if you're into multiplayer games, because they have that for Call of Duty. Apex Legends, every new season comes out, they have like a Apex pack where you get to download some free skins and stuff for your character. Fortnite does all the time. I love the Fortnite ones. I've been getting those since, I don't know, season 2 of Fortnite, whenever they first started doing free Fortnite content for PlayStation Plus members. PlayStation Plus always has done that. It's really great. I love it. It's one of my favorite things about PlayStation Plus, actually, one of the more underrated features if you're really into multiplayer games. So don't forget to check that out. Give it a download if you have PlayStation Plus. Taking a break from big news for a second, let's get to a little smaller news. Still kind of a big deal. Reggie fills AIM. Reggie from Nintendo. You know Reggie from Nintendo. Reggie from Nintendo. He joins the GameStop He joins the GameStop board of directors. He left Nintendo a while ago. Everybody knows that. They put Doug Bowser, I think, in his place. He used to be the president, Worldwide Studio, America Studios at Nintendo. I forget. So he left Doug Bowser in his place, but now Reggie moved to the board of directors at GameStop, which is kind of a big deal because everybody knows GameStop has been struggling lately, big time. And some news went out last week or a week before on IGN about test stores GameStop's doing to kind of revamp their market. I think some interesting stuff in that article. I'll link it in below because I think it's pretty cool, but it's not related to this week. But he joins the board of directors, and I think that could be a cool thing because he did some pretty good stuff in Nintendo. I'm sure they had some ups and downs while he was there because he was there for a long time, but a lot of good ups. And I think someone with his knowledge of the industry could provide a lot for GameStop because GameStop can kind of use whatever they can get right now. A quote from a IGN article on the subject. This quote is from George Sherman, chief executive at GameStop. He says, "The board refreshment and governance enhancements announced today represent an important milestone in GameStop's transformation as we continue to evolve the company's business strategy for long-term success." That's what Chief Executive George Sherman has to say about Reggie joining GameStop's board of directors. But Reggie served as president of Nintendo of America from 2006 to 2019. I didn't know that a minute ago. I knew he was there for a while, but I didn't know how long. So he was there for the Wii, 3DS, Switch, Wii U. So I mean, he was there for a lot of Nintendo's big successes, except for the Wii U. So that's pretty good. I think that could be good for GameStop. moving on, we have Horizon Zero Dawn confirmed for PC. So not huge news. We've kind of been hearing a lot of rumors and whatnot about Horizon coming to PC for months now. We've pretty much all but known this was happening, but this is official confirmation from Herman Hulst, the new head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios, ex-Guerrilla, head of Guerrilla Studios, or ex-head of Guerrilla Studios, now head of PlayStation's Worldwide Studios as of recent, in an interview, I forget on what game site, in an interview with the PlayStation blog, Herman talked about the Horizon port coming to PC. Confirmed it, said it's coming in the summer, I believe, and also talked about how PlayStation is not moving in the direction of making PlayStation exclusives day and date launch on PC and PS4/5. So this is, as Herman kind of states in the article, to summarize what he says. He says this is Sony trying to remain open-minded about the kind of future of the industry and how, a lot of Xbox has been doing a lot of multi-platform, putting their games on Xbox and PC day and date, putting a few of their games on Nintendo too, on Switch. So this is them keeping an open mind in a way and trying to put some of their games, especially games that have been out for years and kind of probably plateaued on the PlayStation hardware, they can now have a bit of a second life on PC. But he also confirmed to put at ease some, PlayStation fans like myself. This isn't Sony moving away from dedicating their games for their hardware and moving to multi-platform. This is just them kind of testing waters, keeping an open mind, and they're still going to remain dedicated to their platform. At least that's what Herman said. Critically acclaimed game, did very well for Sony. I'm sure there's quite a number of PC-only gamers who are excited for this. I'm not as hot on Horizon as a lot of other people are. I think it's it's a good game. I enjoyed it. It's probably worth a playthrough. Some people, loved it a lot more than I did. I found the characters to be kind of lifeless. I think Aloy. I found the character Aloy, without going into any spoilers, obviously, for the game, because people might play it for the first time on PC. I found the character of Aloy to be kind of lifeless, almost robotic. It felt like she was kind of just a hollow shell for you to play the game through, but not a character you actually played as. Which I hope they fix in the second one. I hope they make her characters a little more interesting, because I don't really care for her that much at all. I think the world, the art, and the environments are just gorgeous. The gameplay is really fun and unique. I mean, it's just incredible to look at, the robot dinosaurs and this colorful, bright, post-apocalyptic world they created is so cool. But it's also kind of lifeless. So, much like Aloy, there's you run around this giant open world in an RPG of exploration, and you'll see something cool in the distance, and you'll run over there, but there's just nothing there. There's no loot. There's no caves for you to go in and find a secret dungeon. There's no reward for exploring things that you think look cool. It's just you go out of your way, you go there, and you're like, oh, this looks cool. That's it, move on. It's kind of how the world was. And the side quests were kind of too. A lot of the side characters were just really stupid. And also kind of lifeless and generic. There was the side quests, or side characters that gave you these quests didn't have a lot of personality. It didn't really add that much to the lore of the story. So you didn't really feel I didn't feel connected to the characters that I was doing these quests for. I didn't feel playing something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a fairly similar game in a lot of ways. You do a quest for this old lady who wants to have sex again, but her husband doesn't want to because they're so old. So you have to go find this elixir by killing this bear. And she's just a really funny lady, and it's just a hysterical quest. And it's got so much personality to it that I feel I really want to do this quest because I want to see this little tiny sub-story of these characters. I want to see it through because they're very interesting. But in Horizon, so many of the side characters and their little sub-stories were so boring that I don't really want to do this quest. The only thing I would do it for is some better gear or something like that. But that's it really. So I like it when the side quests give you characters or stories that you want to see through. That's kind of my motive for doing them. But other than that, the gameplay is really great. The world's beautiful, fun to explore. The actual overarching plot of the game, the narrative is actually really, really good. I thought pretty great narrative. Just only problems are weak characters and a kind of empty world. But you take the good with the bad. It's a new IP. It was Guerrilla's first take at this thing. It was very different thing for them to do. So I'm sure they'll, that's what sequels are for. They can improve it on it a lot. But that's me going in a lot into Horizon off of this story that was supposed to be a small story. I just made it a big one. Next story, the second biggest, probably the biggest story. It's going to be the headlining story of the video title, because this is like the biggest thing I think that happened this week. Even though Warzone was my biggest thing, I think this is like the overarching biggest story of the week. E3 2020 canceled. This coronavirus thing is going all over the place. People are just fucking biting people's necks. Zombies are coming out of the ground. So people are just locking their doors shut. No one's doing anything. And I mean, understandably, that they would close big events like this, huge events of gatherings of ginormous gatherings of people from all over the world, or even all over the country, is probably like, that's going to cause a lot of, disease to spread. I mean, people just, at events like this, Comic-Cons, people just get colds and stuff all the time just because you're in such close proximity to like a giant group of random people who you don't know what they've been doing before you've bumped into them at the convention. So, when there's this, just like flu thing going around that has people who a little worried, they're obviously going to cancel stuff like this, smartly so. But it's also a big deal because this is like the first E3. This is the first time we're not going to have an E3 since, I don't even know the article. I don't even think the article says. One sec. Alright, I got a little bone to pick with this IGN article. It does not say that this is the first year we're not having E3 in how long. I would assume they would be like, this is the first E3 we haven't had. This is the first year we haven't had an E3 since blank. So I don't even know. Alright, I tried to do a quick search. I can't figure out when the last time there wasn't an E3. I mean, I think the E3 started in the 90s, around the PlayStation 1. So, I mean, potentially this has been the first E3 they haven't had since the 90s, which is pretty crazy. It's like 30 years almost. It's kind of ironically fitting almost for the convention, because they've been having a lot of issues with the convention recently, because I mean, it's just not what it used to be. I mean, people are Sony's skipping it like every year. They skipped it last year, they're skipping it this year. So now it's just Microsoft. Nintendo's there, but they don't really do a ton of E3 because they just do their own Nintendo Directs. Then you just have the third-party publishers, which, usually aren't as exciting, honestly. Some of them are, like, Bethesda's can be exciting sometimes, Ubisoft can, but things like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, those are like the three you want to see at E3. And one or two of them just haven't been there. So E3 kind of died down quite a bit. Last year wasn't that interesting. I don't even know if I watched how much E3 I watched last year. I usually every year would watch all the E3 live shows on my computer, constantly keep up with it. Particularly the Sony one, since I'm a Sony fanboy. I would make like an annual showing for me. I would watch it live in my room. I'd have like a snack, turn the lights down, I sit in my underwear, and I just fucking eat food, shove shit in my face while I watch Spider-Man for the first time on live, and be like, whoa! It was amazing. I loved it. It was so much fun to do. Just very disappointed that Sony's not doing it anymore, but that's its own thing. And so it's just not as big of an event anymore. So them cancel is almost just like, it was dying anyways. Let's just take it up back. Sorry, old yeller. So they're kind of not ending E3. What they said in the statement that they're going to continue doing E3, but they're going to do it into some sort of live digital form, which is how a lot of people experience E3, honestly. I mean, that's how I've never been. Personally, I wanted to go. I was going to go last year, but I ended up not being able to go because people I was going with had to drop out. And, but last year was also no Sony and Nintendo, so why go to E3? So, I mean, I've experienced online every year, as many people have, through Twitch and other live streaming, YouTube and other live streaming platforms. So, them moving the show to almost like an online only thing is not crazy, actually. It's kind of what it is for a lot of people already. So what's going to happen is Microsoft, individually, I think Microsoft, Ubisoft, Square Enix have said that they have their own live events planned for around that time, where they're going to do what they would have announced at E3 shows, conferences. They're going to do just live on their own accord separately. Similar to what PlayStation has been doing with these little PlayStation, fuck it dude, it's been so long I don't even remember what they're called. State of Plays. It's been a while since we had a State of Play. Nintendo Directs, similar to those, but E3 style. And so that'd be interesting. I'm sad to see E3 go. I think this is kind of the downfall of E3. I know they said they're coming back in 2021 and they're going to reimagine it. I believe them. I think they're going to try, and I hope they succeed and find some way to make E3 exciting again. Because I just think, gaming conventions where gamers can come together and have fun is really great. And I just love E3 because it was like Christmas for me, having developers, publishers announce all these crazy big things every year. Is so much fun. And, it's just like, like I said, it's like a gamer's Christmas with all the announcements you get. And I like that we used to get it all at one time rather than just get these little tiny State of Play, Nintendo Directs kind of things throughout the year. I prefer the giant hype announcements once a year. I think one of the things that hurt E3 is places like Sony were getting a little out of control. They would do E3 conference announcements, PlayStation Experience, Paris Games Week, Gamescom, TGS, and they had like 5 shows a year they would try to have like these huge announcements at, and there's just not that many things to announce in a year. But I think just sticking to one show a year, like an E3, making it like a big show like it used to be, with a lot of big announcements, and then not doing that at the other shows, I think would be a better idea, and you can probably still keep that big, gamer Christmas feeling that I love. But clearly they're going the direction of State of Plays and stuff like that, and I think other companies might follow suit. So that's unfortunate that E3 got canceled this year. Obviously smart, but what other thing this means, which could be interesting, is kind of what does this mean for next gen? Not that next gen is going to be canceled by any means. I don't think it will, unless this outbreak gets so bad that they have to stop production, which I don't think it's gonna get like that. It's gonna delay some movies, might even delay some games too. But actually, I probably will. I'm surprised I haven't seen any game delays yet. But I don't think it's going to delay the consoles. I'd be surprised if this lasts more than 2 weeks. So I don't think it's going to last long enough for it to cause a problem with next-gen consoles releasing. But we'll see. Sony has not announced or has not shown off the PlayStation 5 yet. They've only talked that they've talked about it, that it's real, and that's coming out this fall. And they've talked about some of what it will be capable of, but they have not given us full spec lists like Microsoft has. We have not seen the console or controller like we've seen from Microsoft. But we haven't seen the controller from Microsoft, but I presume that it's just the same controller that we have on the Xbox One. So we haven't seen anything like that. We don't have a release date, we don't have a price, and we don't have a release date or a price on Xbox either, Xbox Series X. But we don't have anything on PlayStation 5 really. So, and we're in March. They've already passed the February date of PlayStation 4, so clearly they're waiting. But what are they waiting for? My thought has been that they're waiting for Microsoft to just completely finish announcing the Xbox Series X. They're waiting for their release date, their price. I think Sony kind of is moving on their feet a little bit. They want to finish seeing what Microsoft's going to do and then change or alter their plans as needed accordingly to compete with Microsoft. So my thought was that they were going to wait till after Microsoft's E3 where they would probably announce the rest of the Xbox stuff, assumingly. My thought is that Sony was going to wait till after that to do it. I still think that might be the case because we are in March and we still haven't had anything. And if Sony was going to do anything, I think the coronavirus thing might put them at a bit of a hold. So might delay it a little even further, especially now that E3 is not happening. So we'll see how this affects the announcement of new consoles. I think that's mostly what it might affect. The cancellation of E3 is probably going to affect how we get information on the next gen consoles. But other than that, I don't think it's really going to have that huge of an impact. Like I said, State of Plays, Nintendo Directs are so big. Other developers and publishers are just going to follow suit this year. So that's pretty much what that means. But still a big deal. E3 got canceled this year. So that's the other huge story for the week. 2 more small stories I picked up today. I thought they were fun. They interest me, so I'm going to add them. Lego Mario has been announced. So Lego did a partnership with Mario. They teased it on Mario Day, March 10th, and then they announced it, I think, the next day. You can watch a video on it online. I can link it below. It's interesting because I'm a big Lego fan. I have Legos all over the room. I got Millennium Falcon, not the huge one, but I got from the movie Solo, Millennium Falcon. I got ATST Walker from Star Wars. I got the Mandalorian one. I'm a big Lego fan. So, and I'm a big Mario fan too. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like a play set, so it's like a hybrid Lego / game where you build the Lego. You can build your own like Mario courses, like Mario Maker style, like courses where you take your little Mario minifig, who's like actually pretty big and it's like digital. It's like a Bluetooth minifig, and you can move it across the maps that you build out of Legos, and you can hit bricks that give him power ups, and hit like platforms buttons that might make a Lego pop out or something like that, like in the Mario game. So it's kind of like an interactive toy / building set with like these Bluetooth minifigs and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. I think it looks pretty cool. So check that out. Another thing, just go with what's going on in the times right now. So the NBA, I'm not a sports guy, but the NBA season got canceled as well as pretty much every hockey too and every other sport going on at the time. Because of the little zombie virus thing. So I thought this was just cool. One of the NBA teams, I believe it is the Suns. Yeah, the Phoenix Suns are continuing the NBA season, unlegit, obviously not the official season, but they're continuing the season through NBA 2K, the video game, live on Twitch. So the players of the Suns team are going to be playing NBA 2K as their team, and they're gonna match themselves up with the players that they were going to be playing with, or the teams they would be playing with throughout the season, the rest of the season. They're just going to kind of recreate it digitally on NBA 2K and play on live on Twitch for people to watch. And they haven't said if other teams are going to be doing this too. I actually kind of hope so. Like that'd be really cool. I thought this was just pretty interesting news. I think it's just a fun, cool thing to do that you can do nowadays. This live streaming and these, sports games and stuff. You can kind of do fun stuff like this in these times. So I just thought that was an interesting little thing that they decided to do, and I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it because I'm not a basketball or sports guy, but I think if you like NBA and you like playing 2K, this might be something fun. Probably something fun to watch. I think if I was into that stuff, I'd be pretty excited about this. Something to mend the disappointment of your season being canceled temporarily. So I think that's just cool. A modern day thing you can do with gaming that I think is pretty interesting. So I wanted to throw that in there. Made it. Okay. That is it. That is a slice of gaming for the week of March 9th through March 13th. Thank you for watching this very first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Comment your thoughts on the news stories that you heard. You can check out some of the important videos or stories in the description. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Check out next week's episode, and I'll see you later.